what are the surprising facts that you heard? Some
I
of
know.
them. Yeah.
So, okay, so Women History Month, women's history, to recognize women and all their accolades and the things that they do for the world,
Hmm.
was decided in 1986.
Okay.
14 states had declared March as Women's History Month, right?
14 states.
And that in 1986, it doesn't state the um this was in New York, right? It
Okay.
started off at Sarah Lawrence College in New York, where others were inspired to start their own week celebration,
Okay.
right? So that was according to the group's website. And
Hmm.
then it took years for Women's History Month to be federally recognized. In 1980, the National Women's History Project led a coalition of women's groups successfully lobbied President Jimmy Carter to issue a proclamation recognition of National Women's History Week. And
Oh,
that took until 1987,
okay.
right? Okay. And then the US president designated Women's History Month every year. Between 1988 and 1994, Congress passed resolutions requesting authorization for presidents to proclaim the special month. Since 1995, each president has issued an annual proclamation designated for Women's History Month.
Okay.
Okay, and then in 2011, President Obama paid homage to 100th anniversary of International Women's Day, saying the holiday is a chance to pay tribute to ordinary women throughout the world and rooted in women's centuries old struggle to participate in society on an equal footing with men.
Okay. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, men, we're coming for you, right?
Exactly. You want equal pay as well.
Right. And this year's theme will be to women who advocate for equality and diversity and illusion. Oh, that's what
Okay.
it
It's
says. Okay.
illusion and
And
stuff.
then so Women's History Month is definitely celebrated in Canada.
Big time. They have
Yes.
parade.
Yes, they have a parade. They have a march. Theirs is in Women's History Month is generally commemorated in March. Canada holds theirs in October.
Okay.
But in the Philippines and in the UK is held in March. So Canada theirs is in October. And then in China many women can take a half a day holiday.
Ooh, that's nice. A half a day off work.
Yep. And in Siberia and Albany,
Hmm.
International Women's Day is also Mother's Day. So they do their Mother's Day in March.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah, that's what it says in Cy- Serbia and Albany.
Okay. What struck me very that's I like that they commemorated a designated color for the uh, Women's International Day, and I'm
Yep.
like,
And
wow! And it's purple, green, and white are the
yep,
colors.
and that's in the UK.
And that's for the UK. And I think that's going to sit there and trickle down to the US and, you
Yeah,
know,
it says just what you said. It said in the early 90s and was transported to the US. So,
mm-hmm. Yeah. So
yeah.
I think those two colors, I think I could, it's pretty, and I think,
Yeah.
isn't that, no, one of the sororities is green, pink and green. Okay. So purple and green, I could see that color,
Yeah.
clash together, coming
Purple and
together.
green with a little bit of, so Friday you'll wear purple, green, and a little bit of white.
That's what we're supposed to do now. Hopefully, I can
Yeah.
find something purple green a little bit, make it look like it's together. You know what I'm saying? Because it is kind of a different color that's off. You like, okay, purple and green. Yeah, I can see purple and white or green and white, but
Right.
it
And
would be
so in 2017, Women's March organized a day after Donald Trump's inauguration, is planned a rally, which they had a rally on in 2017 in Washington D.C. on March 26th,
Oh
and the
yeah.
argument was Supreme Court hearing over oral argument in a case about the abortion bill.
Yes.
So a lot
And
of
that's still
women's
going on.
right, a lot of women's laws are pushed to be pushed in the month of March
Yeah.
because it's our month, right? To
Right.
recognize the things that we're trying to put on the floor or get past, as they would say, right?
Mhm.
And then the Supreme Court issued a temporary order in 2023 that put on hold Texas federal judges ordered to suspend the federal government's approval of the abortion bill. So that was last year, right?
Mhm.
I don't know. Have you heard anything else about this bill? Because they've been doing in 2022 was when they did the versus Wade, right? And then
Right.
in 2023, that's when they had the argument about still about the bill in Texas.
And they still going through that. I think a couple of other bills that have risen this month was the embryos. You know how a lot of mothers and been freezing their eggs, to
Yeah,
use it later down the line when they feel financially set as a family and ready to have children. They're
yeah.
trying to say that's going to be against the law because they
What?
say an embryo, yeah, the eggs, the embryo that's being transferred. They're trying to make that against the law now. And I feel that some people
The,
can't hold children or have children, but they want to. It's different. It's weird, to say the least. Um,
there was an issue that was on Love and Hip Hop about uh, Yandy. Speaking of
mhm,
embryos, right? Yandy's
mhm,
husband had a problem with her giving her egg to her cousin and then allowing someone else to be a surrogate to have a baby for her cousin. She was
mm,
donating her embryo, donating her egg to a surrogate, and then a surrogate would carry the child for her cousin because her cousin couldn't have kids. Her
right.
husband had a real big problem because
Mm,
her husband was saying that his kids would have a whole nother sibling. And then so Yandy was trying to say, no, they wouldn't because you're
you're
not going to use your sperm. They're not going to use his sperm, but they're going to use her egg. He has
right,
a real big problem with that, right?
right. And a lot
I
of
don't,
people have problems. A lot of people having issues with that. I'm noticing. So I don't know. What, what you
I'm
think?
thinking,
Yes.
I'm not, I mean, my significant other, um, probably would have a problem with it because he is a male and males generally don't have
Understand.
any understandings when it
Mhm.
comes to female situation. Naturally the
Right.
husband or even the boyfriend would have an issue with their mate giving away something that's so special, right?
Right.
And I can understand why she wants to
Help her
help
cousin.
her cousin because her cousin can't have kids, right?
Right.
Cousin's having a problem with giving birth. So she wants that's her cousin. She wants to help her out. And it's all understandable. It does seem a little bit weird that you're married. I could see why he's thinking that. At the same time,
Yes.
he should have some form of transparency because that's something that Yandy wants to do with her body. But in the same
But
breath,
they
that's
married. They're
that they're
married.
married. So
Hmm. Yeah.
they
Agree.
definitely have to give grace to
Each other.
um each other, but he doesn't have to agree. So that's where the,
Yeah.
conflict and confrontation is, right?
Hmm. But when you think about it, when men give up their sperm for a family to have babies,
I mean,
sometimes they're kind of not being noticed as they're the sperm donor. They're hoping that, okay, I'm just giving out sperm and you don't lead me back to it. But a lot of times it's being led back to who the father is later on down the line, especially when those kids are old enough to know, okay, I want to know who's my father.
Definitely, because that, cause that kid is gonna come looking. Because there was a situation where I seen a special to where it was a lot of majority of white women. They were lived in this town, and
Mhm.
they went back to search back to see who they belonged to. These kids were in their these grown adults, excuse me, were in their 20s, because
Right.
embryos have just become popular within like the late 90s, early
Yeah.
2000s, right?